right, greetings and salutations, and welcome to a special edition of the Brahma Bulletin. We are live for the very first time, and this is a watershed moment that will go down in sports annals, I am sure. All right, joining me for this historic moment is the one, the only XFL Mike G.
Wow. Thanks for that introduction. The one and only. Very excited to be here.
Oh, goodness. Yes, excited to have you on board as well too, Mike. You are very well known in the social media realms here. If anybody follows any type of spring football, they have seen your name, haven't they?
Yeah. And some people might say too much, but I have a tremendous love for the game and getting the news, the relevant news and information out, as opposed to just throwing my opinion out there. I like to give information to people so they can make their own decisions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Mike, what got you into this realm?
Into this realm, huh? About a year ago, maybe a little bit more, in February of 23, I heard that we had gotten the Brahmas, so I started doing some digging and looking around, and I ran across a Facebook post for people who were looking for writers to contribute to a website, and it was Josh Moselle from Ambush Sports, and he gave me my shot, and I did a couple of pieces for him last year. And I really just started diving into it just a little bit last year. I had some scheduling conflicts, so I wasn't able to continue the entire season like I wanted to. After that season was over, I kind of just got away from social media altogether. And when I jumped back in, I was going to make a commitment for the XFL season again, to at least be a fan this upcoming season. So this was during the off season, and Matthew Tyler, who is the owner and owner and host of two podcasts, the UFL Insider and the AFN Interview Series. Originally, I joined him at the XFL Insider. So I got to say them slowly so I don't get them all twisted up.
Right.
So originally, joined him on the XFL Insider as editor in chief, helping with content, helping with making connections, getting the word out, and that kind of thing. And just joining him, that's basically the start of it. And I don't want to go too much further into it, but we can save that for later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because in today's edition of the Brahma Bulletin, we have a very, very special guest for everybody out there. He'll be joining us momentarily. But in the meantime, Mike, so what is your vision when it comes to the Alternative Football Network?
The network as a whole, to cover all these alternative leagues, and kind of bring them all together. Prior to that, there was some here and some there. We cover quite a bit. I mean, we cover everything from LFA, which is the Mexican League, because we've had players play in those leagues and come and interview with us. We've had a player that interviewed with us, and he was trying to get into the UFL,
Hmm.
and he was drafted in. He was one of the last draft picks for the DC Defenders. His name is Yenny Enrique, and he was on our show. So I got really into following Mexican football
Oh,
on
nice.
top of the UFL. As you know, we also cover the IFL, the
Hmm.
AFL, and we're also working on Canadian football. And I got a story later for those guys, the Canadian Football Countdown. Love those guys. Great show, good information,
Sure.
and it's a fun time.
Yes, sir. All right.
Ultimately, I'd like to be able to cover all of those different groups and have one spot for them to go. So we have our website. It's
Hmm.
got all our shows, all our written content on there, and ultimately for that to just grow out to be the one spot that everybody's going to go to for their information.
Excellent. Excellent. So, speaking of the IFL, we have our very, very special guest that will be joining us. He is going to be, well, he's going to be our guinea pig because this, like I said, this is our first live stream. So he'll be our very first guest, and it's going to be a very special treat for all you, especially if you are Gunslinger fans. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome the one, the only. He is hailing from the Grand Canyon state of Arizona, playing linebacker for your future IFL champions, the San Antonio Gunslingers. He is Tristan Vance. Welcome, Tristan. I appreciate you joining us today.
Appreciate you, gentlemen, for having me.
Yes, sir.
Especially with the first live stream. Should be fun. Should be good. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. It's going to be an absolute blast. So, Tristan, let's get a little background from you. I did hint in their introduction you are from Arizona. So, where in Arizona are you originally from?
Yes, sir. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. Locally, born and raised and homegrown talent, and obviously, based on the jersey behind me, I actually went to school about 2 hours away from Phoenix, Arizona, at Northern Arizona University. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm a Phoenix kid through and through, and I actually take a lot of pride in it because I feel like not as many people do. So definitely a Phoenix kid. I appreciate that Grand Canyon State shout out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I understand that you have three younger sisters and a younger brother.
Yeah, exactly. So I am the oldest of the family, and gift and a curse, but I think it's a gift. I love the responsibility it taught me at a young age,
Mhm.
and I love the just type of responsibility and accountability it made me show. And it taught me, just to understand that my actions and affect more than just me and have a bigger perspective on just what you got going on. What I'm saying, how everything can affect other people greater. So I just I really appreciate them. You know, they're my lifeline. They're my best friends. So.
Yes, sir. All right. So, when it comes to your football journey, can you share some insights into your football journey? Like, how did you get started in the sport and what led you to become a professional linebacker?
Yeah, I was always engulfed in the football lifestyle, the football experience, having parents who were young parents, but also athletes as well. So, including, probably was only be fair to attribute that to my pops, who was actually a professional Division I college football player too. So being a young kid, even beyond my memories, growing up in a locker room when he was in college, and then just attracting to that attracting to that lifestyle. And then I really appreciate my parents, my mom and my pops, for being young parents and sacrificing themselves, sacrificing the type of financial burden it takes to put kids in youth sports, and pushing me. And I just had a kind of born into the environment and took a liking to it and took off and ran with it. And it fortunately led me to being a really good all-state high school player, getting a collegiate opportunity, and now running with these professional opportunities. Thankful that they've come and here to maximize my potential, because a lot of people have put a lot of investment into me. So it's time for me to return that investment to them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what challenges have you faced along the way, and how did you overcome them? Like, I understand that unfortunately, you were injured early in the season last year. So, what other challenges have you faced?
um, just in general, the sports, athletic, and balance of being an athlete and being a student, obviously at the high school and collegiate level, and then transitioning to the pro level. The balance of managing time, the balance of honestly managing your own personal well-being, and personal psychological stability. I would say that comes with it. It's kind of, you can't become the player and the person in general you want to be in a day, in a week, even in a summer or in a season. So I would just say the biggest challenges, aside from obviously, the physical injuries that sometimes come with being an athlete, is more so the mental battle of understanding every day, daily deposits, even though you can't really see them and understand where they're going to, it still is a deposit. I would say that's the thing that, people and athletes alike sometimes struggle with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So, like I said earlier, you did play for the Arizona Rattlers before joining the Gunslingers. So, what was your favorite memory playing for them?
That's a good question. Unfortunately, my stint was shorter with the Rattlers, cut short due to an injury. Um, but I would just say the favorite thing was just the opportunity to travel and compete and to do what I loved again. Having got that opportunity in college to travel, be a part of a group, be a part of something bigger than myself, and being able to truly compete, and through a week of preparation, it was special to do it on a professional level. It's not the ultimate goal, it's not the ultimate destination, but it was special to do to be able to go to a few cities. So I'm the type, I enjoy home games. So I'd say to answer your question, I like away games too, just because of the sense of travel, the sense of camaraderie that an away game brings. You
Mhm.
oftentimes get to experience something new and something different, and go to battle. And I know that's kind of a sensitive word, but for lack of a better term, off the top of my head, I really enjoy that feeling. And
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a rare feeling that sports brings more than other experiences. That away game,
Mhm.
that away game trip.
All right. So you're from Arizona. You're an Arizona boy through and through. Played
Absolutely.
you played football in Arizona. So I have to ask, what was the deciding factor that led you from leaving home to play in San Antonio?
Yeah, I would say it's a good question. Obviously there is opportunities locally. Like I said, I was with the Arizona Rattlers. Like you said, I was with the Arizona Rattlers. But really, for one, San Antonio was the most aggressive in their outreach to me, which I appreciate. Their willingness to recognize the type of player I am. And then I would say, secondly, I didn't know at the time, but after doing some research before signing with the Gunslingers, would be Coach Minaz and his resume. It's really thorough. It spans several decades.
Hmm.
It's really well connected, and just kind of like his pillars of what he stands for as a coach and as a man. I would say, I don't have a great relationship with him, but I feel like he developed yet. I don't have a great relationship with him yet, being my first year playing with him. But I feel like he is someone who develops a really good rapport, and honestly, just honorable type individual, and how he goes about business, how he goes about ball.
Yeah. So we know that indoor and arena football rosters, they have huge turnovers from year to year. Uh, so
Absolutely.
do you know if any of your former teammates are still on the Rattlers
From last season, you're
from
you're,
last
you're
season?
asking? Yeah, I would. Yeah, there's a few for sure. There's a few. Uh, they're good guys. I'll say their names and stuff too. It's no disdain or anything, but
Mhm.
I know Isaiah Houston. I know who's a big time all IFL type player. Dylan Winfrey, really good brother. Another all. I believe he was a defensive MVP of the IFL in 2021. I know those two individuals for sure are returning. As kind of some of their staples, as well as a few others. I think Jamal Miles is a veteran who they've had for several years. He's returning as well. So those three names I know for sure are returning, and it's good for them. It's not personal; it's all business. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm happy they got the opportunity to do what they do, and obviously on the business end, we're just here to compete. Really, nothing more, nothing less.
Yes, sir. So what will it be like to face your former teammates as an opponent? Being able to knock your friends in the face and knock their heads off. I mean, we have to wait to the last game of the season for that, so it's a lot of buildup to be able to take them out.
Yeah. The truth is, I have July. I know the game is July 22nd. Let's just say that's my approach to it. I know the date of the game, and we're
Is
we're
it is
many a
it
month.
circled on the calendar?
We're many a months before that. But I mean, I would say, in all actuality, though, not to just give the plain Jane answer, but I really am focused on one step at a time. For getting to San Antonio, establishing a rapport and a trust with my teammates, because at the end of the day, like the Rattlers and those teammates, and it being an Arizona organization, it'll be great to compete against them. but it's all about San Antonio and the San Antonio Gunslingers and what we have to build. It's a long, long 16-week season where
Mhm.
we got to do things the right way, brick by brick, and really iron out ourselves week to week, week to week, iron out ourselves and who we are as a team, who we are as a culture and an organization. And then I know that by that time we'll already be rolling. So it'll be great to compete against that team, but it's going to be great to compete against all 15 other teams before. And I
Absolutely.
see all 15 other teams as an equal opportunity to compete.
Yes, sir. All right, so we have a question from the crowd. So Horns Forward podcast, they asked, "Do you have any pre-game ritual?"
Nothing out of the ordinary. Um, I'm sorry, but I wish I had a really, really good one, something out of the ordinary. But I keep it routine. Obviously, it's got to come with music. Obviously, it's got to come with just great stretching and warm up and stuff. A few things that I write on my tape, just honoring a family member and a friend who had passed away.
Oh
And a
wow,
few other things like that. But nothing crazy. Just really good hydration. Um, I guess, yeah, I guess if I had to get a little bit out there, I would say a cold shower in the morning. Cold shower in the morning. Nothing too long. 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Maybe just let a morning song run and let that cold shower go. It's tough. It's honest. It wakes you up. I don't even know if it works. The science behind it says it improves this and improves that. I don't know if it's the science or me making myself suffer, but I would say that would be it. Cold shower.
nice. All right, Mike. Here's one for you. Since you are talking way too much in this interview, I'll be quiet for once.
I was just listening. I enjoy when these players come on and they speak their truth and they tell their story and they share their journey, you know, as opposed to, you know, a host who's going to talk the majority of the time. But I did want to ask a couple of questions. Going back to when you were talking about uh, growing up and being maybe in a little league, did you do any uh, select team or superstar team or all star team football traveling?
Yeah, I would say a really good benefit, and again, I thank my parents and my support system, in all the sports I played, predominantly football and basketball as a young kid. I was put in really competitive environments, and you have no choice as a young kid to kind of adapt to that environment and learn how to compete and learn how to deal with adversity and learn how to play the game. And not- and and so yeah, I'm really thankful for that. So did a lot of AAU travel basketball as a kid, which honestly I think probably helped me more emotionally, psychologically, et cetera, et cetera. And we traveled definitely more than football. I think just the culture of AAU basketball is more travel. And then my seventh grade year and eighth grade year made two like essentially youth all-star teams, and we traveled both years to Las Vegas after our season and competed with some non-local competition. Yeah, so I was always in competitive environments for sure.
Awesome. Secondly, I was going to say when we were talking about if you had any former teammates or friends that play in the IFL, do you circle the date or do you make a list? Okay, this guy plays on this team, this guy plays on this team, and start smack talking about a week or so before you do any of that.
Yeah, this will be, I guess, the first opportunity for me to do that, given that last year a really short stint with a different team. But so this will be the first time that I'll have more personal relationships with the opposing players and people on the opposing team. But yeah, I definitely will in a more of a way of reaching out and more of a type of brotherhood, more so we understand where the start was and we understand where we want to finish at. And so maybe the connection and reaching out is a little bit of smack talk, but it's a little bit of a check-in too, just to make sure everyone's doing good, make sure everyone's kind of still in that place of hunger and healthy competition that we all know will take for us to be successful in what we want to do. So I mean, this year I'll have a bigger opportunity to do so, but I'll definitely do so. And it won't be, like I said, it won't be personal. It'll be business, but it'll be real business. And we I look forward to it. And like I said, it's a way to kind of compete, but it's also a way to check in with someone you built a real relationship with.
Yes,
So there's a
sir.
few people, on some other teams. I don't really want to mention teams, but there's a few. There's definitely a few.
All right. I can't blame you on that one.
It's just
You want to stir it up a
we
little bit, but not too much. I got you.
yeah. We don't we yeah. Mhm.
All
But
right, yeah.
I'm
So
definitely looking forward to seeing you guys play. Um,
absolutely.
RJ
Yeah.
and I are both season ticket holders, and
Mhm.
Sorry
I'll
about that.
let you pick that up.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries, man.
Computer
It's
screen.
it's live. It happens
Live
to
action. Live action.
That's
live
right.
action.
So yeah,
But
Alternative Football Network says, you have a great mindset. He's looking forward to watching you play this season.
No, I appreciate it. And I want to say I appreciate y'all not only for the interview, but also the alternative football network. It's really cool. It's really big. It's really personal to me because you are giving a big light to those people like myself and many other my peers and my teammates and competitors who are in a blue collar situation. The
Mhm.
margin of error to get to where you want to go is it's paper thin. It's paper thin, and any little push and any little support, it means a lot because we understand it's very easy to cover the NFL. It's very easy to cover
yeah,
the NIL deals that the college football ranks present. And we appreciate y'all for kind of putting yourselves in a blue collar situation and covering that and covering us. So that's really dope.
Yes, sir.
definitely.
All right, so here's another question from the crowd. What's the song that gets in your head in the game?
uh, This is strange, but I'm very I would say depending on like the week and what I feel like I'm required to do to in order for us to be successful, it kind of makes the song change. Versus if it's a
Different.
week if it's a week where it's a really physical week, and I kind of need to be a true LB where it's all about kind of knocking heads and asserting its level of physicality, the song will be a lot more intense than if it's a kind of a week where it requires a little more speed and finesse and coverage and thinking and stuff like that. But I would say any of the three. I would say if I had to choose three songs, I would say "Diamonds from Africa" by Artist and Future. I would say a song called "Humble" by Lil Baby, or I would say a little throwback vibe that gets me going too is this song oh my god, it's called Blasphemy by Tupac. Really kind
Yeah,
of
I know that.
old, real kind of old classic. I mean, maybe we could maybe some of the what I mean, the 90s and 80s babies could connect with that one a little more too, but it's a little throwback joint. But I can feel the real raw situations in that song, and so that's definitely one of them. Those three are gonna get spun, but it's really like which one is going last? Which one's going last today?
Nice. Yeah,
That's
I was
Machiavelli, aka
just putting a
Tupac.
few highlights on your on the side here. Some of the tackles that you had during last season. So thinking that some of those songs were probably playing through your head when you're making those hits.
100%, 100%. No, 100%. Consistently, those got to make it every game day. And those have kind of stuck with me for some years.
Yes, sir. So with your experience in the IFL, how can you help those players that do not have that experience be prepared for the change in leagues? Because that's if you want to listen to some of the fan base out there and their power rankings and their record predictions, a lot of them are in the consensus that well, the Gunslingers are new to the IFL and they need to be able to adjust, and so therefore they're going to have that growing pains. So I look at the roster. There's all kinds of IFL experience, and you are one of them. So how would you be able to help those that don't have that experience to make the adjustment?
Yeah, that's a good question. Being in the Gunslingers are coming from a different league and a different situation. I would say the first thing is that culture, and I know that's a very used word, but I would just say, we the foundation of an organization that travels. and I know that the Gunslingers have been a really solid foundation, a solid organization. So I would say that travels a lot more than a few rule changes for some field goals. And I'm not here to say that that's not important, knowing the game, and because every inch matters, every point matters, um, and every yard matters, and owning the information and owning the rules is important. So I would say all I know is the IFL game.
Mhm.
So that I guess that would help because I don't know the crossover rules of the league that the gunslingers were in prior. So I just come with an only IFL foundation. So I'm just I think it's a slight advantage, but I think the advantage really um is in what have you built with your team, with your coaching staff, with your organization. I feel like that means a lot more. And I feel like the rules and the rule change, even when I was last year with a different organization, that coaching staff was still adjusting to the new IFL rules as well. And that was a really established organization with a really established coaching staff, and even they were still adjusting to the new IFL rules as opposed to the AFL rules, et cetera, et cetera. So I think there was a bit of a learning curve for most all organizations. And I fully believe that not only the team, but our coaching staff by the middle of the season will be fully engulfed in what we need to do. Um, so, any and all advantages and tips and stuff like that that I can offer, I'm willing to, but I don't think that'll be what separates us nor any other team on Saturdays or Sundays or Thursdays or Mondays. The game's going on different days, but
Right. All right. So let's get some of your playing styles and strengths. So, what aspects of your playing style make you stand out as a linebacker? So, like, what are you known for? Your speed, agility, tackling, or something else?
yeah. As a linebacker, the 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 sole purpose of the position, it starts with and it ends with getting people on the ground. It starts and ends with getting people on the ground. I've been taught that. My college coach used to really, really, really put that into our heads. So yeah, it starts being a tackler, and there's a little bit of a technique and an art to tackling, but there's a little bit of also just a want to and a willingness to it. Um, So I would say as a linebacker, you just have to take pride in your tackling first and foremost. If you that's a baseline, base level requirement for the position is tackling and physicality. So if you're not really bringing that, it's probably not the position for you, brother, man. That's just being real. Beyond that, I take pride in being able to demonstrate a level of versatility and being vocal. A lot of responsibility that comes with the job, and you know, being vocal, it not only gives reassurance to yourself about your job, but it gives a little confidence to the entire unit. In my opinion, the more vocal the linebacker is, not only just making calls, but just kind of willing and keeping the juice and the level of intensity up in the game. I feel like that's part of the responsibility of a linebacker, as well. Just being a vocal presence out there. Like I said, I feel like it brings confidence to yourself and to your team. Communication kind of leads to confidence. And I would say on a personal level, though, I would say versatility. I pride myself on trying to be able to do any and everything as a defensive player, not just as a linebacker. Because I feel like as a linebacker, especially these days,
Mhm.
what are you not asked to do? You're asked to tackle. You're asked to take on the 300-pound plus lineman, get off the block, and make the tackle on the most athletic player on the field. You're asked to cover in space against receivers. You're asked to you're asked to blitz with the same aggressiveness and effectiveness as a defensive end. So I believe your versatility is extremely important. You look at linebackers today; it's rare you have a traditional linebacker linebacker, but he can cover linebacker and he can blitz, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say that on a personal level, something I take pride in. Never feeling like I'm not confident in any position I'm asked to be in.
Nice. All right. So, are there any specific techniques or strategies you employ during games that contribute to your success?
Are you talking in game or
That's
prior to that?
that yeah. That Mr. Mike, that's a good little. He's already answering the question how I should answer the question. Real talk. But no, truly, um you know the quote, the old adage is true. You resort back to your habits, you resort back to your training. So in a game, you can only be as elite as you practiced and prepared. So I would say the preparation is where like the tips and like the advantages come, because in a game, in all actuality, you really shouldn't be thinking too much, especially once the ball is snapped. You really shouldn't be thinking at all. I don't think that's positive. I mean, obviously, unless you're a quarterback, and I take pride in the linebacker being the smartest person on the field completely. But even once the ball is snapped, it should be instinctual, and I don't think it's good to think, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I would say any tips and advantages, they should be done during the week or pre-snap, but kind of like that. But like you said about the IFL rules and stuff, on the linebacker, you're a stationary player, so it really you're a little bit limited in the pre-snap advantages you can gain because you're a stationary 5 yard player. But I would say, yeah, it's your preparation, and then on game day you just got to be yourself, and you just got to, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want players thinking, you want them reacting. Because if you're thinking, you're taking time to think and you're delaying your reaction.
Yeah, exactly. Likely the only person that should be having any thought is a quarterback going through their progressions. But between plays, absolutely, you should be thinking about, the down and distance, the tendencies, what a player likes, and what matchups they're trying to exploit completely. So I would say that, to answer your question a little better, I would say that's what you think about in between, is what matchup, especially in the indoor football game. They're heavy on matchups. They're heavy on numbers this way, numbers that way, small advantages. So I would say that's what you should be thinking about in between. But then once the ball is snapped, you just got to be yourself, and.
Absolutely. So, how will you contribute to the overall team dynamics of the Gunslingers? So, do you think of yourself as more of a leadership role, or are you more of a quiet force on the field?
It's a good question. Naturally, throughout the my sports career, I've found myself coming into more leadership roles. Just whether it just be like the willingness to step up and kind of take the responsibility of it, but also kind of the responsibility of the position. I basically believe a linebacker at the end of the day, there's if you got a collection of linebackers from high school to NFL legends, they could probably tell horror stories about how they made a call that was correct, the D lineman or the safety or someone messed it up, and they're the person getting kind of dogged on the sideline. But that's just part of the position. But I would say, obviously, I have a level of awareness too that Coach Minaj, his staff, they're also coming with several players from that they've had for several years and work together. And then, as of right now, in our team communication and our team group chat, there's some other players who have taken that leadership role right now. So I'm cool. I'm cool just being myself. I think naturally as I get on the field, I'll be a leader just because it's required of and it's demanded of the position. But I'm fully comfortable being either, and whatever the team requires. I know that's kind of a layman's term answer, but at now the higher level you get, you have to sometimes accept that, similar to whatever it is. And you're a player in high school or college, you're the star, and then got to develop into the star as a professional. You know what I mean? Or you have to develop into the leader as a professional. Leadership is kind of proven. Um, it's not just you show up one day and it's like I'm a leader. It's got to be proven first. It's got to be earned as a right. If it's a privilege to be a leader, and it's a responsibility too. Um, so I say all that to say, I don't think I think there's many leaders on the team, and I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Not one person will have to bear that sole responsibility. It seems like a good collective of men, um, not dudes, not guys, but of men,
Mhm.
and that'll help. So I think we'll be player led, which will be really good.
Yes, sir. All right. So, can you recall any standout moments or game-changing plays that you were involved in, like perhaps a critical interception, a crucial tackle, or a game-winning move at any point in your career?
Yeah, fortunate to have a pretty good amount of success in high school. We played in some state championships, but I would say it's got to be a few of the collegiate experiences we have, and I would say the apex of that collegiate experience would have to be just because, again, it's personal. Arizona kid, but my senior year at NAU, we actually defeated the University of Arizona
Awesome.
21,
Yeah,
21,
I
9
remember that.
20 21-19. I
Wow.
think the score was, don't quote me on the score, but it was something like that. I think it was 20. I think it was 21-19. It was definitely a 2 point game because they had a conversion opportunity. It was a um, true type of what I'm saying, like a Hollywood situation or whatever, where they had the 2 point conversion at the end of the game that I believe could have either tied the game or won the game for them. And we got that stop. But just, that moment was big as far as that singular play. But that whole experience, shout out to my mom. She drove down from Phoenix to Tucson and like I found her after the game, like um in a sea of just red Arizona fans who are obviously a little bit ignorant and mad and whatever. I'm like, I didn't even know. She kind of surprised me and I was like, you should show so that moment was big though. I mean, Arizona kid, um, obviously passed up on by the University of Arizona, and then to as a senior get to go down to the University of Arizona representing NAU and get that win. It was big. I think it
In
was the
their
first time.
house?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was the
Wow.
first time. I mean, it was the first time in I think 90 years or something like that that it had been done, and yeah, that was definitely the biggest moment.
Got to make it a little bit sweeter to do it at their place.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was absolutely.
No kidding. Well, and speaking of your mom, we would be remiss for not bringing up that today is International Women's Day. So, is there
Absolutely.
any special woman in your life that you would like to give a shout out to?
Not one, but honestly, all. It takes a village to help anyone and any individual get anywhere. But unfortunately, my pops is very involved in my life. But definitely, there's been a little bit more women in my life that have helped me get to the position I have and supported me and gave me support. And but honestly, gave me tough love too. Was a lot of lionesses in my corner that helped me get to where I am. It wasn't all. So my mom, my aunt, my grandmother, both grandmothers, and the entire tribe, several other cousins, aunts. But real talk on International Women's Day. It's today, but it really should be every day. We that we honor, appreciate, see, hear, and respect the ladies out there. And I mean, it's important to me. I mean, I got younger sisters, so it's not just really me saying it, but it's me having to learn what it means to be that um figure to young women and to appreciate the sacrifices that the grown women in my life made to help me get here. So super super salute, super shout out to all the women out there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
everybody watches going, good answer. Good answer.
That's right.
Never.
Nah, nah, it's a real answer though. It's a real answer though. It's not. There's no. It's real raw. It's uncut. It's live. So I really mean that. I would say that today, but I would say that every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Mike, you have any questions for Tristan?
Um, Not right now. I'm still
Okay.
kind of just watching and paying attention and yeah, I think you covered everything that I was trying to cover, but
All
we'll do
right.
better on that. It's our first show.
Right, right. It's our first show, but all right, now that we got all that boring football talk and everything, let's get to the real important questions.
Let's get to
All
the
right.
real man. Let's get
That's
to the
the
raw.
off-field questions. All right. So, like for example, this is a very good one that I was going to ask myself. So, what are some of your hobbies or goals outside of football?
Yeah. Hobbies and goals outside of football. That's a really good question. Hobbies and goals. I mean, I just really like I really like connecting with people and stuff like that. So I guess to put it in perspective, if I had to have a real a good off day, I would definitely want to maybe fire up the grill. Hopefully, Phoenix is good weather besides about 3, 4 months a year. It's hellacious. But besides those 3 months of summer, if we can fire up the grill, get some good food on the grill, good music, um, maybe some good, NBA basketball or just some, comedy TV on. And I like to host. I like to bring people together. I like to have, friends and family equally together and just connect and that would be like my ideal like hobby or off day, whether that's off day, like I said, at a lake or something, whether that's just an off day at the crib. Um, but I would say connecting with people and just engaging in real conversations and real dialogue. That's what I like to do. Um, off the field. So and then like I would say, I guess cooking and other things like that would be a side hobby, um, of mine, to kind of engulf the whole entire thing together.
Nice.
So I would just say spending time with real people,
Mhm.
um, and and cooking.
Wow. Nice. All right. So, when you need a brain break, like after a long day of work or whatever, and you get home and you turn on the TV, what show do you turn on just to get
Ooh,
away from it?
ooh, that's tough. Nowadays, especially, there's so many streaming platforms. It's tough to narrow down one show, but generally, the general if it normally it'll probably just be any type of comedy. Like I really like stand up comedy too. So if it can be just because it's real light, like get off the film, get off the training kind of vibe. Stand up comedy kind of allows you to cut loose. They make fun of themselves, they make fun of the world. It kind
Mhm.
of brings it, things to a less serious tone because obviously like during the day in football and during the day in life in general, it's serious. You know what I mean? Plays got to be made, touchdowns got to be scored, tackles got to be made, bills got to be paid. It's real life out here. So I think the kind of stand up comedy vibe kind of resets me, and I feel like it kind of resets everybody. Makes everybody feel like a normal civilian.
Mhm.
So I would say that. But if we had to go TV shows, I would say my all time, I was of recent ish, was the Power series. I really enjoyed the Power series. It's on Hulu. Um, but I would say a new recent show. I think it's on Prime Video. Like I said, there's so many streaming platforms these days. There's
Right.
a show called From, a little suspense-ish um type mystery suspense type show. But yeah, I would say all time it was Power. But if it's on any given day, it'll probably be a comedy, a little stand-up comedy.
Okay. Excellent. So, what is your ideal vacation during the off season?
Ooh.
Like, are you a beach guy?
Yeah,
Are you a
yeah.
mountain guy?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Um, Essentially, to answer the question, beach or mountain, beach. You know what I mean? This or that. If it's this or that, it's that. But yeah, I would say the ideal vacation. I would say definitely warm weather, preferably beach or tropical type vibe, but not complete isolation. Um, because even as you travel, I feel like traveling is really dope. Hopefully that can be a hobby I say I have later, and I can put that as one of my hobbies. But kind of like at what I'm doing right now, I don't travel as much. But I would say traveling is dope because all the traveling experiences I've had where I've really gone out of the country or far away, in the country, it really is a learning experience. You know, you don't get to understand the perspective of other person in another country
Mhm.
until you go there and kind of put feet to grass and put feet to earth, to see it. So I would say definitely like a beach type vibe, but I would still want to be able to walk around and experience the day-to-day life of a civilian, not for anything else, but to gain the perspective, gain more of appreciation for the culture. For example, 2 years ago, I went to the Bahamas, which was a really dope experience. But I didn't know that it was. I was an ignorant Phoenix kid. I didn't know that it was a chain of like I don't quote me on this, but like some like 200 or so islands, and only 70 of them have people on them. So it's like it's more valuable to have a boat than a car in the Bahamas. You know what I mean? I didn't
Right.
know that. And when they say like it's hard to get out of the Bahamas, it's like no, it's actually hard to get out of there because it's actually hard to travel island to island, let alone get across ocean and across to an airport or to anything else. It just changed my whole perspective. Like doing the excursion stuff was cool, but like really seeing the lifestyle that they live, good, bad, or indifferent, it kind of resets me. It kind of resets me.
Nice.
But
Well,
definitely
that's
beach over mountain. Come
beautiful.
on.
So, is there anything unique about your personality or background that fans might find interesting, like something that no one knows about you?
Man, that's a hard hitting one off the top of the head. Um,
Man, our date's just coming
some
right at you. He's just coming right at you
Oh,
today.
no punches here.
Yeah, Arizona has some great outdoor hiking spots. They know Arizona's great for hikes. And something that most people don't know about me, or many people don't know, is I'm just a seeker of. I would just say I'm just a seeker of information, and a seeker of dialogue, and a seeker of things of that nature. So I would say I take pride in being able to learn. I could take pride in being able to listen. I take pride in being able to have conversations and that sort of thing. I think more and more the world's getting more antisocial and
Mm,
more into their own dynamic and their own perspective and their own everything kind of. And I understand like if that's you, but that's just not me. Um, so you can probably hear like in me talking like I'm pretty open when it's time to be open, and I think that's powerful. I think that's positive. And I think that's you can learn, you can. So I would say that most people wouldn't assume that about me. That I'm just a seeker of information and a seeker of yeah, connecting to people.
yes, sir. All right. My last question, and this is going to be the most important question. You're going to have to think awfully long and hard about this because this question, the answer to
Okay.
this one, is going to determine whether you are going to be beloved in San Antonio or reviled. All right. All right. So
Yeah,
we might have to get help from the
we're
audience
getting we're
on this
getting
one.
controversial. I'm not afraid to
Right.
get controversial either. I
Very,
think that people are afraid of that. I'm not afraid of it. But
this
let's go.
is very controversial. So, breakfast burritos
Oh
and
gosh.
breakfast tacos.
Yes.
What do you prefer? Carne asada or barbacoa?
Ooh.
Oh, that's an easy choice. I've never been to San Antonio, but I imagine the culture is a small it's similar to Phoenix as far as Phoenix is a very Southwest community. Obviously, it's literally Southwest, but just Latino like influence and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So it ain't nothing. You have Mexican food on every like street corner, like in Phoenix. That's regular. But carne asada is definitely where my heart's at. Like it's yeah the carne asada because you can go carne asada burrito, you can go carne asada fries, you can go carne asada. It's really not much of a debate or controversy over here on
Uh,
this side. I just no disrespect to barbacoa fans, but you know, like
Can't offend them. They'll get
sweet,
mad.
huh? No, that's what I'm saying. Like if it gets crazy for me out there in San Antonio, I know why. But so I can't go to certain spots and because I dish the sweet pork barbacoa or anything. But yeah, I think carne asada. I mean, and you're talking about burritos specifically, but carne asada burritos for sure. But carne asada in general, just over barbacoa. And maybe San Antonio would change my perspective because I didn't know that was a debate.
oh,
So again, like it's just like learning and experiences and like et cetera, seeking information. Because like I feel like out here in Phoenix, we have a lot of Mexican food, a lot of Mexican influence,
hmm,
but that's not really a debate out here. But I'm gonna go to San Antonio, and I guess I'm gonna see that it's a debate, and
yeah, yeah. I
maybe
guess
I'll get informed.
Well,
Because
definitely. I have family that lives in New Mexico, so I know over there burritos is a big thing. I was like,
Yeah.
"Can I get breakfast tacos?" And they're like, "What's that?" I was like, "Instead of rolling up the burrito, you put stuff in it and you fold it in half and then you eat it that way." But
Yeah.
like, if you go to a place here in Texas and order a breakfast burrito, they might look at you funny. Some places will have it, but it's more about
Oh.
the tacos.
yeah,
Oh, okay. See, like
definitely
that's what
not.
I'm saying. That's I'm all about information and stuff like that. Because I truly had no idea. Because I would say similar out here, a breakfast burrito is more common than a breakfast taco. But we sell breakfast tacos, but breakfast burrito is gonna be everywhere.
RJ was last week or the week before had one of your coaches on, and he recommended a spot. So he's definitely going to give you the lowdown on where to go in San Antonio.
Okay, maybe
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe I'm gonna send this to my coaches, and they're gonna see it. Maybe they get on me day one, talking about you tripping, son. But
Yeah,
yes,
Coach Richardson, he's local, so he will give you all the
okay, yeah,
diner
Coach
side
Rich.
drive-ins. Yes,
Okay, Coach Rich, that's good to have a local there. He really knows how to move and how to operate and where to go.
because I'm originally from Minnesota. I mean, I'm from the country. I come from Wirt, Minnesota, population 20, up by the Canadian border, and I have never heard of carne asada or barbacoa. And I moved here, I met my future wife, and we were dating. She asked me, and I was like, sure, carne asada. And oh, we almost broke up over that. So people are hardcore barbacoa fans here in San
Okay, no,
Barbacoa and Big Red.
I guess I got no idea what I just signed myself up for and just walked into, but it's all good. I'm the type that stands in my decisions and stand on business. So I gotta say carne
I
asada
mean, we even have
until I
barbecue and
experience it
red
otherwise.
in a big red. So there's a
There you
whole
go.
thing about that.
Yeah, ladies in this part of the country love barbacoa and Big Red. If
Hmm.
they're having a bad day,
The hot
barbacoa
sauce?
and Big Red.
That's a soda.
Oh, okay, okay,
Oh,
okay,
it's a red cream soda.
Yes.
It's
okay.
cream soda. It tastes a little bit different, but it's huge down here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a mind-blowing combination. I've never heard that. But see, that's why I gotta get out to a new city, new experience, and like that'll be super dope because I don't know how many dates you catching out here like that. But see, now I know. Like now I know.
All right, we're trying to set
Real
you up for
talk.
success.
Yeah, need real talk. Now I'm more informed. Yeah, real talk.
All right. So, Mike, did you have any other questions?
Well, no, I'm still good. We need to work on when we're asking questions in the signal and stuff because I don't want to
Okay.
interrupt and then I
I'm gonna
forget
do a
and I'm
little.
listening to Tristan talk because I like hearing like he was talking about people from other parts of the country and their experiences.
Hmm.
Like like I said, I went to New Mexico and asked for a breakfast taco and they're like, we got burritos. I'm like, burritos? Why would you make a burrito out of breakfast stuff? But anyway,
Why
but
would you
yeah,
mess up a good thing, huh?
I just like talking to different people from different parts of the country. So I'm just listening.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, Tristan, I think we are drawing to a close of our time together. So, before we let you go, do you have any community involvement or charities or organization activities that you would like to promote?
Ooh, man, I should have came with a little like list. Like I wasn't expecting to get a little shout out, but off the top of my head, um, I don't want to miss any. So like if I was to start with like a friend or two's business or a friend or two, or a family or two's business, I don't want to miss any. So I'm gonna just say like super salute to all those doing real business and real work and good work in all their respective communities. Especially shout out to the local businesses, independent businesses. Um, and I'm all about those. I try to support those as much out here in Phoenix, and I'm gonna try to find those little those as well out in San Antonio, whether it's for food, whether it's for washing cars, whether it's for doing any amount of things. Um, those businesses are making clothes. I know I have a teammate, several teammates. See now I just thought about one. Now I'm thinking about another. Several teammates who are doing the clothing thing. Um, several teammates who are doing the training thing. Um, just I hear you. I respect y'all, and we appreciate y'all. And, keep going. Everyone who's doing real business, real work. Whether that's communities, whether that's like community outreach, whether that's any type of anything. Well, I super salute. Got to support those types of things. That's kind of like the crease in the mold that keeps like communities running.
Yes, sir.
Community support keeps communities running. Um, yeah.
All right.
Even the small, even like I don't know disrespect, but even a blue collar, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
organization like AFN, local organization like AFN. I know you guys do work with all many teams, but that's local. That's I believe independent, correct?
Yes.
That's
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying, small business, independent business. So and super salute to all those people in that situation. I feel like it's similar. I feel like I'm damn near a blue collar independent athlete, which is my business right now. So, um, major salute to everyone in that situation.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Tristan. I think that's it for tonight. I greatly appreciate you coming out here, spending some time with us, getting to know you. Super excited. I know I could probably speak for you, Mike, that we're both excited to see you in the field. Season starting well, just in a couple weeks, and you're reporting to
April
training
1st.
camp soon.
Yes, sir. I'll be in San Antonio, and I and the rest of the team will be in San Antonio, the 14th, March 14th.
Yes, sir.
That'll be our first day of kind of a camp initiation, and from there, all eyes on April 1st, and just honestly, one day at a time,
Mm-hmm.
1 week at a time, and
Yes, sir.
it'll be fun. I'll be thankful. I'm thankful for the Gunslingers for the opportunity. I'm thankful for AFN again for another blue collar type organization, giving a blue collar type individual a chance to come on here.
Yes,
And I
sir.
didn't know that I was your first live one either. I didn't. So I appreciate
Oh,
that's trust, that's
good.
faith, and because that's faith. So
RJ, I do have something real quickly before we let go of Tristan.
All right.
The guys over at Gridiron Crew, they're
yes,
agents, they're coaches, and I believe they work with you and they represent you. I think Dallas is your guy, but Nick,
yes,
I
sir.
promised him I would give you a shout out. Tremendous working with those guys. They've got a lot of guys in the IFL, and I know for a fact that they only select um, athletes that are going to contribute to the team and be positive for the community. They want to do things the right way, which is what we try to do as well. So I just wanted to shout out those guys.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, me as well. Shout out to Gridiron Crew. I mean, no secret, they got me this opportunity, and they actually got me a previous opportunity as well, even before I was signed to them. So that was even more of a reason for me to lock in officially once they became an agency. So, um, appreciate that. The time's
Yes,
over.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, Tristan. Well, have yourself a great night, and you're welcome on the show anytime. We look forward to see you in practice here soon and at the games.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Can't thank y'all enough. My best. We'll be seeing each other very, very, very shortly.
Yes, sir. All
From the
right.
south to the west.
Let's keep our guns up.
Guns up.
Okay, cool. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I like that.
All right,
Absolutely.
Tristan. Have a good night.
Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen. Take
All
care.
right. Bye.
All
All
right.
right. That was Tristan Vance, linebacker for your future IFL champions, San Antonio Gunslingers. Again, I want to thank him so much for spending some time with us to do this interview, our very first interview live. And yeah, that was really good. I think it went over really well. What do you think, Mike?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good talking to you because it was good working with you because we had already interacted, we'd already talked. We kind of know each other a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and but definitely we need to get the notes to the interviewer, the guest, a little bit sooner so they can kind of prep a little bit. That's why I like to have my questions in advance, just so we don't catch them off guard. But yeah, I mean, other than that, smooth first show. I think for a first show, this was great. This was
Yeah,
spectacular for me.
yeah, I think so too. So, Mike, I know we talked offline before we came on, and you said that you had some announcements. So, what kind of breaking news will you be giving tonight?
Now I got to live up to the theme music and the fanfare, but it's not really breaking news. It's just a little bit of announcements. One is a repeat on AFN. We have also added through the Horns Forward podcast Vamos Brahmas, which is a Spanish only language podcast that covers the Brahmas. And unofficially, because I don't know for certain, they're the only Spanish language
Yeah,
podcast covering the UFL.
I think
So
they
I'm
are.
really excited about that. It's a whole new market for us. And like I said, that wasn't really an announcement. That's just a reiteration of what's going on with those guys. And second is going to be co-host for with you here if you'll have me. You invited me on,
Absolutely.
and I'm still kind of working through it because I don't feel real comfortable on video, and um, but I do enjoy working with you, and I think we connect and we click, and we're covering a lot of the same things, so it'll lead to some good conversations.
Yeah, I think so too. So this will be a day that will live in infamy. The day that live streaming has died, or maybe that maybe we weren't that bad. I think it went pretty well.
I think so too. We'll read the reviews tomorrow.
Right, exactly, exactly. So yeah, we'll continue on this, and we'll prep for more shows in the future, especially with the season, both seasons coming up for the Brahmas and the Gunslingers coming up. Basically, right around the corner, there's going to be a lot of information, a lot of content to go out, and we got a lot to cover. And I'll be excited to join you in this journey.
Definitely, we're going to cover the Gunslingers and the Brahmas to the best of our abilities. Season ticket holders for both of them. We'll be covering events. I've been working with. I don't want to say I've been working with their media, but I have ideas that I want to run by some of their medias, and do some things like maybe live pop-ins and things like that, and continue to get coaches and players and to bring on the show and interview and talk to. So I'm really looking forward. We got 3 weeks before we get in the full swing, and I'm excited. I love football. I love covering football. I'm going to go to so many games this year. It's not even going to be funny.
Yes, sir. And so, well, we got it. We got a Bravo Zulu, as they say in the military. A good job on the first live, guys. Well, thank you very much for that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody who's watching.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We'll
sir.
work more on getting the comments sorted out and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. We'll iron out the kinks and work out the bugs, and we'll make this a little bit more less cringy next time.
No, I liked it. I had a good time. The only thing is, it was cringy for me because I didn't want to be like responding, and since my camera's on my laptop, I didn't want to see. I didn't want anybody seeing this all night, so I just kind of left it alone.
All right. Well, I think that's it for this show. It was a blast having you, Mike, and I again want to thank you to Tristan for coming on the show and being our guest, and I also want to thank Coach Tom Manas for being so amenable and being approachable and just allowing us to being able to interview the coaches and the players. And he's been really great on just having two random guys like us just being able to get close to the team and being part of the extended family. So I just want to thank him for all he's done, and the rest of the Gunslingers staff as well too. They really have been very friendly and opening and welcoming.
So yeah, I wanted to shout out a couple of guys before I forget. One is Weston Colm, who is a season ticket rep for the Gunslingers. He's who I went through to get my season tickets, and of course Ralph.
Yes.
You can't mention the Gunslingers without talking about Ralph Judkins. I can't talk right now, but he's the play-by-play guy. He's the host of the Branded Gunslingers podcast. Talking to that man, I was like, you need to be on a show. We need to get you talking to our audience because he gets me. Everybody in the Gunslinger organization gets me fired up. The coaches, the players. Coach Manas, he's Greek. I believe he's from Michigan. He's from up north, but he fits into Texas so well. I thought he was a native Texan, honestly.
No kidding.
He gets you fired up. I mean, just listening to him talk at the podcast, I was ready to run through a wall. I was like, let's go.
Hey, man. Yeah, right. Absolutely. All right, Mike. Well, I think it's time for us to sign out for tonight. So thank you all for watching, and thank you for the kind words in our comments, and I greatly appreciate it. And from everybody at Alternative Football Network, if you have not done so, please check out that website, alternativefootballnetwork.com. We have all kinds of wonderful contributors and partners. We have original content. We have original articles. You name it, any league that you're looking at. We got what the CFL, we got IFL, we got the AFL, we have NAL, we got the UFL. I mean, any league that you think of other than that other. What's that one league I don't know about? That
I don't know. They play in the fall. I don't really think
whatever
about them
league plays.
anymore.
It's that minor league. So if you want real football content, come to AlternativeFootballNetwork.com. All right. So until then, guys, let's keep our guns up. All right.